Hey, did you know there are 4 types of access passes for photography and concerts? There are. I'll go over the differences and why it's important to you to know which one you want to request. Is it a big deal? Yeah, it can be a real big deal. It makes a determination on where you're going to be on the concert area and the kind of photographs you're able to get. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over the basic types of photo access that you can get for a concert. And I'm going to start out with the very first one, which is basic access. Basic access allows you just to photograph the show. Nothing else, no pit access, no backstage access. It may give you limits on the type of camera that you can bring in, maybe just your cell phone, a point and shoot, no interchangeable lenses, anything like that. You may be required to stay in your seat, not be able to roam around. It's just basic access to photograph the show. And then the next type of photographic access for a concert is venue access. In this type of access, you can bring in whatever kind of camera that you want to, typically. They still may limit you to a non-interchangeable lens camera. It's at the venue's rules. But typically you can bring in an interchangeable lens camera. You may have a certain amount of pit access. It may be allowed. The house rules will apply. Sometimes you'll have house photographers or other photographers that they've made obligations to, and at that point they'll tell you where and when you can go certain places. There are several subtypes that do exist. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. One of the better ones that we had, we photographed A.J. Croce in Capel, and we went up to the box office and handed them our paperwork, and they gave us an escort into the auditorium. They told us where we could go, what we could do. We were limited from the soundboard back. That was okay. We had 3 songs, no flash. That was okay too. When we were done, they came and got us, and they escorted us after 3 songs and sat us up with the family. Really, really cool. So venue access may be good or bad, but you're limited by what the venue wants to do. The next type of access is band grants the access. Also, I forgot, under venue access, you may or may not have to pay for your access to the venue. It just depends on each venue. Band access. Generally, the band gives okay for the venue to let you in with a camera and photograph them, but you still have some things that the venue may require. We shot Aaron Watson at Billy Bob's last year, and he sent us a letter of everything that he wanted, how he wanted to be shot, when he wanted to be shot, and what we could do. The house still applied rules as far as where we could go. We could go into the pits, but we could not go backstage. We had certain limitations in areas, and Billy Bob's doesn't have a pit. It's got an area that's a walkway, and there's seats in front of it, or tables, and there's seats and tables behind it, and that little walkway, wait staff walk back and forth constantly with food and beverages and things like that. So it's quite a busy place. But that's the main thing. You can be required to pay, but a lot of times if you have band access, the band takes care of that. You're comped for it. There's no problems with that. That's the main thing for band granted access. The next kind of access, I'm going through my paperwork, by the way. Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, if you find anything you like, this information may be useful or helpful to you, man, ring the bell. Go ahead and subscribe. It helps us out. It tells us that people want to see more videos. And now, one of the most important one is media access. Media access means media access. Media access means that you're with a publication, some kind of a TV channel, a newspaper, a website, something like that. And at festivals, media access typically is granted access to the pit, sometimes backstage, sometimes access um, to the artist. But each venue and each event that you go to, a lot of festivals will say you can go and you have access to this artist and this artist and this artist, but you don't have access to this artist, and you can go here, here, and here. So they typically give you access, a lot better access for media access, but it's a lot harder to obtain. You're more likely to run into the 3 songs and out rule with media. Of course, that's what media should do, and there are different degrees and levels of media access. It's important to have your paperwork and be with a legitimate media organization to get this kind of access, because it is rather special compared to the other types of access. And that's mainly the 4 types. So why is this a big deal? Why does this make a difference? Well, when you request media access, or not media access, but photo access, who are you requesting photo access from? Determines on what type and the quality of the photo access that you get. So if you just go to the venue and say, hey, I want to shoot this show, can I do that? You get a different type of access, as rather than if you go to the venue as a media, as working for a publication. Even though you go into the same venue, you get different types of access. You may, if you go without a media outlet, you may get basic, where you're forced to use a cell phone or a small camera. If you go in with the band information for your media access, you still have to have approval by the venue also, and they may have a house photographer too. So a lot of it depends on what type you request, who you request it from, and what they give you. That's why it's important. So I hope this helps. If there's anything you like or can use from this, please let us know. If you have any questions, we will ask them in the comments. We'll answer your questions in the comments. We pretty much answer everything we get. So, and we appreciate you watching our videos. It's awesome. So we thank you, and we'll see you next week.